by the end of the day, this is going to be everyone's favorite team, okay?
Well, we've been given so much. I think being able to have an opportunity to give back is something special. And, this is, 3 hours away from Las Cruces, but, Chevron's been so amazing to New Mexico State, to the state of New Mexico, period. And, for them to be able to set this up and for us to come over and, be able to share some of our players and our student athletes with this community it's just been an amazing opportunity and a lot of fun. We have a hard-working group, got a bunch of student athletes that really, play hard every day and enjoy, being around each other and playing for each other. And, it's a long season. We haven't quite started our first game yet. That's November the 4th, but I think that through the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows of a normal, long, drawn-out season, these guys are going to have an opportunity, I think, to do something special. And, right now we're working hard and improving daily and getting better, and I've seen a lot of the trajectory that I hope to see.
There's quite a bit of different research, and there's different misnomers about, training when you're young, but there's also quite a bit of research that comes back and suggests doing a lot of different types of activities are great for long-term health and longevity, And so for young kids, there's a really big push to continue to make these things fun for them. Like, you don't have to have a college grind mindset with young kids. It's about activity. It's about long-term health for these guys. So starting them off early with something as simple as like a movement circuit, starting them off with something simple as getting them out here for activity, starting the ball rolling early, get them to understand how to move and how to be healthy. It sets them up long-term for a life that is a lot easier for them, keeps them healthy, and makes sure that they can, when they're old and when they have kids and grandkids, that they can still go out and play with them and they can still go out and have fun and be active. And so I think it's really important to set the bar high at a young age to be able to get our country healthy, to be able to get our kids healthy, and solidify long-term habits that push the needle for them, not just for sport, because we all know when we come into sport, it's about life, and so we want to be able to move the needle in that direction. So I think it's about setting that foundation for them, and it's about helping them understand the importance of health overall. Yeah.
Camps like these, but one that stood out to me would have to be my first camp I went to. It was Chris Ball's camp, and it was in Arizona, and I was like about 10 years old when I had attended it, and it was like 2 to 3 days long, and it was just a bunch of knowledge, just taking it in. He gave us a lot of knowledge on just how to be a leader and just things on just how to be a pro, even at a young age. I mean, we don't have the money as a pro, but just the days, the day-and-day habits you have to take in, just good habits, and just staying locked in, just so you can just be successful in just whatever you want to do, not only in basketball. Yeah, leadership. I mean, this being my sophomore year, I definitely have to take a step up as a point guard and just being a leader, but my whole life I was a point guard, so just being able to lead a team, lead people off the court, on the court, just even when it's in class, just even when I see somebody slacking off, just being able to help somebody out, be a helping hand whenever, on and off the court. My parents always told me just gratitude, I'd say, just being just always gracious, just being grateful of what you have, and just being able to just give it to other people, because you never know who's looking at you, you never know who wants to be in your shoes, just always showing love to others.
Yeah, so today we are here in Carlsbad doing a kids clinic in the morning, and then in the afternoon we're traveling to Hobbs and doing the same thing over there. Coach Hooten is really big on, not only engaging the Las Cruces and NMSU communities, but our whole region. So we're excited to be here. We stayed in Carlsbad last night, had a great dinner, and then had a great breakfast, and we're rocking and rolling over here in Southeast New Mexico. Well, just like you see right here, I mean, just the chemistry, the guys have with the campers, but just also with each other. I mean, it's just an extension of that, In practice, everybody's pushing each other, encouraging each other. So, in terms of chemistry, I think we're definitely on the right track.
I got married 3 years ago to my wife, Anna Laird, and she'd always asked me about New Mexico State, and she could tell when I talked about Las Cruces and the university that I had a specific soft spot for the people and the community and the place. And it just so happened that I was granted an opportunity to come back. But to answer your question, I've always loved Las Cruces. I've loved New Mexico State University. Got a master's degree, so I'm an alum. But it's just a special, unique place. Very intimate, very blue collar, very hardworking, very passionate about their basketball program. The kind of place that you want to be a part of, So I love Las Cruces, love New Mexico State, and happy to be back. Yeah, no, it's really I'm big in personal and professional integration. Growing up in the business, I was told, hey, you got to keep your personal life, separate, and I couldn't disagree with that more. I find ways to bring my family around, but seeing our players give back to the kids like this, it hits in a lot of spots. It hits home with me when I was a kid doing stuff like this with players from the local community. It hits, for seeing my kids wanting to be a part of something like this. But it's just cool. Basketball gives you a platform to take initiatives like this within the community and impact people that you normally wouldn't see or interact with on a daily basis. So I love things like this. I'm so glad that Chevron and New Mexico State were able to put this together.
So since I took over 2 years ago, Chevron has been a huge supporter of the club. So Beverly called me. She was like, hey, we have this basketball camp that we want to put on. And I was like, let's do it. But Chevron has been the biggest supporter we've had here. So we've had basketball all week, I feel like, and our actual school program is going back to the schools this year. So it was really nice to see the kids that have the passion for basketball be here today. So when you have somebody that just comes to meet superstars, it's a whole different level of kid. When you have kids that have the passion for the sport, it's humbling. I love it. So like I mentioned, basketball is going back to the schools. And so we're running it. And so each school is going to have their own basketball team for each grade. And so it's going to go from kinder all the way to 6. So it's going to be old school, like back in the 90s. They're going to have their team on their jerseys. Bear Paw's our sponsor for those. And we're just going to make it citywide because we want our kids to learn the fundamentals of sports. And so that is the biggest thing that technically I wasn't announcing till next week. But it's going to come back to the schools and we can be old school and have fun with this.